I've been burnt out countless times over my years at Cambridge Med School, working as a doctor and doing my research in mental health. And after all this, I've developed a system to avoid burnout, stay energized, and always make time for the important things that you want. Avoiding burnout is all about keeping balance in your body and your mind. So you have two types of activity. One where it demands your energy, and those are net negative energy events or activities, and you have ones that supply your energy, that are net positive energy events or activities. And if these two are balanced, then you can sustainably work at that rate without burning out. But if these two are not balanced, then eventually you get your scales looking like this, and eventually you'll get burnt out. It's just a matter of when. And it happens in two ways. So type 1 is where, imagine you have a massive energy demand, like you have a deadline. You have a massive energy demand and you have a deadline in 2 days, and so you basically spend all your time working, you don't do anything for yourself, and then you get burnt out over 2 days. That's like an acute sense of burnout. But you can also get a chronic type of burnout where they're only slightly misbalanced, they're only slightly imbalanced. So imagine, like, on this balanced set of scales, you just added one more weight on here, one more activity on here. It might take a long time to sort of shift angle to get to this point where you pass this burnout line, but eventually you get there. And so people chronically get burnt out over and over again when they're consistently just slightly out of balance, and then eventually they always get burnt out. So acute is when you put a massive weight on this side and it snaps past the burnout line, and it can be 1 or 2 days and you can be burnt out for a week, right? But chronic is where it takes a long time to get past the burnout line, and then you are burnt out for a week and you don't really know even how that even happened. And that's the general concept. But most people think about energy demands as, a few things. Like physical energy demands where, let's say you're running for your bus, and they think about energy demands in terms of, mentally solving a problem at work, right? And that's a mental energy demand, right? But there's a few other things that people don't really consider, right? So there's mental energy demands of doing a task, but there's also something called metacognitive demands, which are about making the decision to do the task, right? Metacognition is thinking about thinking. And so you're thinking about what choice to make. And that can also demand energy. And people think that that's it, right? But all of this gets multiplied by psychological energy demand. If you, imagine you at your job, you can be physically not really doing that much, mentally not really being stimulated as much. But if you hate your job, you are going to feel burnt out. It's going to feel like a massive energy drain on you. Imagine you can have somebody that loves their job, but they're working 8 hours in the day. They're doing really, really hard work and really stretching their mind to do work. They will feel less burnt out than somebody that hates their job that really hasn't done that much in the day. So these are the main categories of things that can drain your energy. And therefore, to supply energy, it's not just about sitting and watching Netflix, because watching Netflix, you're sitting on your sofa or your bed and you're not really physically recovering. If you ask an athlete, how do you physically recover? It's not sitting in bed, it's going for a walk, right? You can physically recover yourself doing like small bits of exercise, right? And going outside. And mentally, watching Netflix is not mentally recovering, because you're stimulating yourself by lots of different things, right? Your brain is not having a break. What you should do to mentally decompress, instead of compressing yourself with more and more things and more social medias and all of that, is, going for a walk and, meditating, and also doing things that are, meditating and walking also help to sort of decompress your mind, because you're not thinking about things actively and you're not being fed lots of things. But also mentally recovering things might also be doing something creative, right? People feel more relaxed after they've played their instrument, or they've done a bit of, you know, creative things, drawing or whatever, or making a video or making music or any of these things, or cooking, for example. These are all mentally recovering things, right? And then psychologically, you can't forget this, because even if you're technically getting things, if you're psychologically lonely, if you're not truly happy with where you are, that's draining enough. Sorry, I can't fit it on. But what you need to do psychologically to recover yourself, speak with people that you actually care about. Don't be fake. Don't be speaking to acquaintances and not actually saying who you really are, not actually saying the things that you actually think. You need to speak with people that you actually like and do things that you actually like with people that you love. Netflix is never going to give you this. Social media on the phone is never going to give you this. You need to see people in real life. All right, so the first part of the no BS advice that I need to give you is that you need to understand, honestly, you need to identify what is an energy demand, like what is energy demanding and a net energy negative thing, and what is a net energy positive thing for you, right? Some people that you spend time with may end up on this side or this side, and you have to be honest with yourself, because those people, these people are causing you to burn out. And you probably don't have space for them in your life if you really are ambitious and you want to achieve goals. Certain types of work, you might be in the wrong job. A lot of people hate their jobs. And that's why they burn out. It's because they're not actually doing something that they really like to do. And so this psychological demand is through the roof. So anything that they do is going to burn them out. So you need to be honest with yourself. You need to be honest with yourself about what goes where in your life and what you do or don't have space for in your life. And the second thing is that you are probably trying to do too much. You're probably demanding too much. You're probably adding too much weight on this side about the things that you care about. And so what you need to do is ruthlessly cut your energy demands. So in the way of sort of identifying the things that really burn you out and demand too much energy for what they're worth, you need to decide what you need to cut from your life, because you cannot do every single thing that you like to do. You have to find out the things that are really important enough to keep on this side and cut the rest, so then you have more time to do the third thing, which is focus on recovery. You only have so much time. You only have so many weights. Imagine this is your balancing, like this is your scales. You only have so many weights because you only have so much time to put on either side, right? And what you are doing currently, if you are burnt out, is you are putting too much on this side of your 100 pieces, 100 kilograms, you're putting too much on this side and not enough on this side. And that's why you are burning out constantly. Even if it's 51 on this side, 49 on this side, you are going to burn out eventually, and that's why you get in this cycle. You need to focus on your recovery. You need to think like an athlete. Even if you are working in mental space, your brain and your body are not that different. You have to treat yourself like an athlete. You have to focus on your recovery. The best coach for an athlete is not someone that just forces them to do stuff in the gym. It's also the one that tells them, you got to go to sleep now. You got to get in your ice bath. You need to do things. You need to focus on your recovery in all of these ways. And then that's the only way that you can stay balanced and not burn out. There's a fine line between you burning out and you staying sustainable. And you need to take this seriously. Otherwise, you continuously get into this cycle of burnout and you will never make substantial progress, because you're going to go 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. So that's it. I hope this was helpful with regards to burnout. But if, you find it very difficult to sleep, you find it difficult to recover with regards to sleep, because sleep is one of the most important things that you have to recover, then click this video on screen where I explain why you are having trouble with sleep and exactly what to do to fix your sleep forever.